Hello, I'm Robert Burgess, the Consul General of the United States here in Chennai. We hope you will join us as we celebrate 50 years in this historic consulate building.
The Consul General's office brings a new kind of architecture to this place because you've got the church, which was largely neoclassical. You have a lot of natural greenery in this particular area. You had Gemini Studios, which had a Indo-Saracenic and a colonial bungalow in its heart. And then you had modernist architecture right on one side. Once the Consul General's office came here, it transformed the complexion of this particular locality.
The consulate is a gateway for many American dreams, which often started with pursuing higher education in the United States. For former Public Affairs Officer Ravi Kandadai, his first step into the consulate marked a long-standing relationship with the consulate family.
That understated building, tucked behind the Gemini flyover, has a special significance to me. It was there I received my F1 student visa in September 1977, soon after I'd graduated with a bachelor's degree to study in Utah. I remember the day clearly. I was ushered into an office and had a brief chat with Vice Consul Kenneth Shivers. After waiting for a while at the Woodlands restaurant across the street and tucking in a rava masala dosa, I went back to pick up my passport and I was on my way to Ogden via Tokyo and San Francisco the very next day. Little did I know that I would walk up the same few front steps some 25 years later to join the consulate team. By the way, one of the first things I did when I arrived in Chennai to be the public affairs officer in 2003 was to take my wife and our 3 young children to Woodlands to give them a taste of the city's hospitality and the view of the consulate where my American journey began.
I recollect Yusufi, where I went and where I was looking for certain opportunities, and I got the form to fill and got another fellowship, which was the Heinz Fellowship.
For many Indians, the consulate provided a glimpse of what America would look and feel like when you travel there. The consulate helped make that American dream a reality.
I still remember the very first time I entered the building. I mean, I had not ever been to the US before, but it was like a taste of a different place. And there's a very well manicured lawn, and you walk into the building, and there's these large portraits of the president, and then you walk through. I mean, it's a big thrill as students to walk through the security and feel for that 1 or 2 hours that we are sort of entering America, as it will, and coming out. I mean, that is, of course, when I was 16, tied up with what I would consider a big landmark of Mount Road, situated in a very, very opportune place right next to the Gemini flyover. So it's a big part of our lives.
It also marked the growing interest among Indians to seek opportunities to experience America through work and study. Keeping up with the demand for visas, the consular section expanded its reach and invited a special guest for Inauguration Day.
This picture brings back such fond memories. We had the former Chief Minister, Ms. Jayalalitha, inaugurate the renovated consular section. She had so many questions on the visa process and the technology we used for it. Such a historical moment.
American Center patrons and former employees recollect their fondest memories of the American Library.
The library has gone through several name changes. It used to be American Library, it used to be Information Resource Center, American Information Resource Center, then it became again American Library.
Chennai, which was then Madras, was where I met my wife, and so meeting her now and then at the American Library or for coffee at the consulate, those were obviously the moments that I remember the most.
I came to this library that was once known as the United States Information Center, American Center Library, around about December 1979. So since then it's been a long time to come in here. This is actually the first floor, and the favorite place I used to sit is somewhere near overlooking the cathedral.
Perhaps I am one of the oldest person currently using an American library. A good library atmosphere was here in terms of it, and the collection was recent, representing the American culture, science and the technology, as well as their political value systems and other things.
Those days we could just sit under the tree. So we would all sit under the tree and wait for our friends to come to the library, then maybe walk across for a lunch here, and then walk across there for a movie, which was Sapphire. So all those landmarks have gone.
The Consulate Auditorium has screened several hundred films over the past 50 years. Today, we have access to global cinema and American classics at our fingertips. However, for many Chennai locals, it was here at the auditorium where they got to experience American classics and cinematic excellence.
I've been part of a film festival which we held here, which was all of musical.
Changing times also meant changing technologies. While the consulate connected two nations, it also kept pace with technology, connecting people locally and globally through exclusive programs and ease of access to library resources.
I remember bringing in our first satellite dish receiver on a bullock cart because you couldn't bring trucks downtown to Gemini. I remember doing American election results watches where we had to actually have a painted board of the 50 states. And I remember doing my first WorldNet dialogue, which was in the days before digital video conferencing, where we had satellite hookups and phone conference hookups with the United States, and we were nervous wrecks, but it all worked.
Outside the consulate, we've had the elections where we were part of. We watched in Taj Coromandel how the actual US presidential elections were going on in the US. So many lovely memories. I think a lot of good memories associated with the consulate.
When I joined, the library was fully printed world. So books, magazines, whatever was there was on print. With the coming of the information technology and the technological tools, we moved on to different microfiche, then CD-ROMs, and then online databases and things like that.
It reminds me of my days when I was doing research out here, for my MPhil especially, where we used to extensively use the microfiche. Right from my undergraduation days, we did go for seminars and so on, but then this is so much more easier.
The commercial service works on strengthening and building the US-India business partnerships.
I would say 92, 93, I remember. Ford team used to come to India to establish their operations, and every team visited the Commerce office here in the building, and they used to have meetings with the Consul General and Commercial Officer, with all of us. And finally, Ford has decided Chennai as their operation.
Thank you very much for continuing to serve the community, and all the very best for the next 50.
All of these stories wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for this building. We thank you for working, partnering and believing in the US Consulate General in Chennai, and for truly making this celebration a golden one indeed.